What's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name's Mia and I'm so happy to have you joining in today. And if you're new here, I am finally working on some Animal Crossing speed builds and I'll be expanding my content across my channel. So welcome in. I wanted to start the video off here just to give you an idea of the theme of my island and what we'll be working on. So I'm trying to create a university and an overall campus vibe across the island. And as we follow this path, I just wanted to show you how close I am to my RS building, which I'm so excited about. But in this space right here, today we're gonna create a track field with a lot of fake buildings in the background so it feels like you're on a campus. Oh, and one of my favorite things to do in-game is use the tree glitch. So notice how this red tree is on the edge of the cliff and how close the antique wardrobe is. That's why I love this glitch, because you can really push the items to the edge and you don't have that space. And also when you stand at a distance, the trees appear closer. Unfortunately, I won't be showing you how to do the glitch, but definitely look up some videos if you're interested in doing it yourself. So we're gonna start by placing some in-game pathing on the grass, and the dark brown path is currently my favorite, especially because I'm trying to go for a fall aesthetic on my island, and I'm using a lot of red brick and brown brick, and also the track field is burgundy, so I like how the brown looks, and it's going to be appearing on the edge of the field. But also when you open up the map, it'll be easier to find this section on my island because it's going to show up. First, if I just place the codes, you won't see it as easily. But another thing about the code, since I'm talking about that, is you'll notice that I'm not going to place the entire track field pieces here. So I took off some of the corners because I don't have enough room. I mean, I'm anticipating that I'm not going to have enough room. I currently do, but I'm secretly hoping that Nintendo is going to surprise us with a few more design slots, because I thought 100 would be enough. But as I learned from my last island, 100 still isn't enough, especially when there's a lot of really creative codes out there. They require a lot of pieces because they curve or they go in diagonals, but that's okay, because the great thing with the track code is we can hide the portion of the code that we're not using, which you'll go ahead and see later on in the video. But I highly recommend at least getting the solid pieces to any of those codes with curves on them, because you can still make it look really pretty, really beautiful. And don't limit yourself either to just creating a track code. So the great thing about this code is you could also just have it all solid. Maybe you can create a soccer field or a basketball hoop area. But basically just create whatever makes you happy. The possibilities are seriously endless. So we're gonna place a lot of bookcases on the island here because it helps fill in the buildings and it makes them appear a little bit more realistic. And I'm really obsessed with this leaf code here. So if you see any of the codes that you like, I definitely will be having them shared in the description box, along with linking the social media accounts for the creators. So as always, please, if you have any of those social media accounts, show those creators some love, because they not only make awesome codes, but they share really cool and unique builds as well, and definitely a lot of inspiration can be found through the social media accounts as well. And on that note, if you do enjoy watching Animal Crossing speed builds, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications, because I do appreciate all of the support in helping this channel grow. And also let me know in the comments if there's anything specific you're wanting to see for a speed build, because I do have a second island that I'll be playing around with just some random builds to help me when I'm in the middle of, getting stuck on what to build next on this island, having that inspiration block. But I'll be back in a moment to talk and explain the next steps here. But for now, we're just gonna work on expanding the fake building. So this is the moment where I realized I made a mistake. Do you see that gap back there? Yep, so this is the thing with simple panels. Sometimes you make mistakes, but that's life also. So just be patient with yourself when you're making a fake building and using simple panels. That sometimes it does take a while to figure out the spacing of everything. But I'll be back again. We're just gonna work on adding a little bit more depth and dimension to the fake buildings as I create the second tier, just to make the building again appear more realistic. So one of the things I also do to help myself stay more organized when I'm working on a build is I place all of the items off to the side, and you'll notice I'm just going to be running around back and forth picking up the items that I'm going to need, and it's just trying to help me stay a little bit more organized. And I'm finally utilizing the warp pipes as well, so I can move easily from the first tier to the second tier, because we will be building on the fourth tier. So I will be showing you the fourth tier glitch, which I just learned for this build, and I'm so excited about, because it really helps make the fake buildings just appear more realistic when you're able to add that kind of layer. But just notice how I also will place the simple panels at different levels. I pull some more forward and push some back. So it just helps create more dimension to the building and more realistic looking. I definitely recommend also, whenever you're making fake buildings, to run to the front of the area you're working on, just so you can see where you might need more panels. So you'll notice I placed one panel behind that antique wardrobe, because when I go stand in front of the building, if I didn't have the panel there, it would look like a blank spot. So again, just be really patient when building these type of builds. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes, because I make so many. Now that we're building on the third tier, I'm only going to place a few bookcases behind the simple panels. So I'm not going to fill in the space the way I did on the other tiers, and I'm not going to make the buildings look as thick. because it'll still give the illusion of buildings behind the front foreground buildings when you're walking around the island. And also because of the way the camera panels when you walk around, it really won't be that noticeable that the top buildings are a lot thinner than the bottom buildings. And then the other reason I'm not making it as thick is because it helps me save on items, because I really don't want to chop a lot of trees or try to get so many bookcases. And then it allows me to have more space on my island as well. Another thing you're going to notice is that the windows are all a variety of sizes on the simple panels. So the smaller the window, the more pushed back I'd have it on your fake building. And then definitely create some medium-sized windows and then some larger ones. So it just gives it a lot more depth. So now we're going to work on doing the 4th tier glitch. And this is the shape you want to make with the cliff. So I'm just going to freeze here just so you can see that one section is curved and the other's not. And then you're basically going to need an item that's 1 tile large. So you'll get trapped into this section, and then you're still going to try to build a cliff as you turn clockwise. And then eventually, as you keep trying to build the cliff turning clockwise, you will pop up on the 4th tier, ready to place your items here. I also highly recommend having the items that you need for the 4th tier, because once you get up here, it is not easy to get back up because you have to create the same shape that you did when you originally showed up here. And then I'm just going to chop off all of this other cliff. And again, even though this building looks thin as I'm standing on the top, from the bottom, you won't notice it as much. So that concludes the fake building portion of this speed build. And I'm going to spend the remainder of the time just decorating the area that we've created. You'll notice as I'm wrapping up my decorating that I stuck with a limited color palette here. So I mainly want to go with orange, green, and red as the main colors for this area. I do have a few pops of blue as well, but I tried to keep a color palette that feels more fall to me. And as I'm finishing up the decorating, we will see the finished area in just a moment. But I really hope you enjoyed this speed build as I enjoyed sharing it with you. Again, I will be releasing more speed builds in the future, so please look out for them. But I had a great time. Thank you so much, my friends. Goodbye.